All right, hi everybody, it's Joe with Sorta Golf. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about some great balls for high handicappers. Just full disclosure, my handicap right now is 25, so I'm definitely high handicap. These are the ones that I have played and personally know that work for me as a high handicapper. But given all that, there are a few things that I look for. The first is feel. And by feel, I mean a few things. One is the feel off of the club face, be it a driver or a long iron, but especially the feel around the green. When I do a chip and when I putt, those are very important to be able to not have a real plasticky, clicky feeling. I don't like that at all. I want to have it a little bit softer and feel like I have a little more control around the green and on the putting surface especially. The second thing is forgiveness. As all high handicappers, I struggle to stay in play, and that's the most important thing for me, is to stay in play. So if I hit a shot that's not quite perfect, it can't be rocketing off to the right or to the left. It needs to have that built-in forgiveness in the ball, and so that's a big piece of the picture for me, and I think for most high handicappers. The third thing is affordability. I don't lose that many balls, to be honest, but I know a lot of high handicappers do, but I am cheap. $60 for a box of balls, that is not cutting it for me. I'm not going to be doing that. So affordability is a big piece of this. Visibility is another huge piece. Just like we were talking about with the forgiveness, I got to be able to find this ball. If I can't find it, that's where strokes really rack up. So I want something that is going to be glowing out there. I don't want to be searching for something that's blending in. It's got to glow for me. Finally, there's a cool factor that comes into play. I'm not the biggest person for cool factor, but you know, I want it to be fun. Golf is supposed to be fun, so there's that. So you may notice that I didn't mention distance in what I look for, and there's a big reason for that. For me, and I think for a lot of high handicappers, it doesn't matter what ball you play in terms of distance, because the ball you play is not the problem with your distance. The problem with your distance is technique. And no ball in the world is going to be able to help you if you can't get that technique right. So in my opinion, looking at distance as a high handicapper for a reason to choose your golf ball is the wrong thing to look at. You need to look at how it feels. Does it make you want to hit good shots? Does it give you confidence? Does it inspire you to play? Those are the types of things that really make a difference for high handicappers, because the real thing that's going to get you more distance is better technique. Okay, so let's get to the list. Starting in number 4, Pinnacle Rush. So the Pinnacle Rush is the ball that I first played when I started getting back into golf, and I got a sleeve or a box of them from the pro shop because I asked for the cheapest ball they had that was still good, and the guy gave me those. And they're very inexpensive, but they go a pretty good distance. I didn't notice any kind of drop off in what I normally hit from these. They are right in the range that I normally get. I do track all my yardages, and so they're right on par with that. They do stay pretty straight. I mean, they're not designed to be a straight ball, but the spin is low enough that it doesn't slice off on drives, which is fantastic for someone like me because I have a tendency to go right. The yellow version really pops. The color yellow that they use for the Pinnacle Rush balls is super easy to see, to the point now that if I'm playing in weird conditions and it's hard to find the ball, I'll use this over any other ball simply because the color is so great for that. And it's also available at literally every course. I mean, you can find these everywhere. So, I mean, those are the good things about them. The cons, they are a little clicky. They don't feel plasticky, but they definitely aren't soft, and they're not very forgiving of mishits for that reason. So if you hit it suboptimally, you will lose distance with the Pinnacle Rush. They definitely are not as forgiving as some of the other ones on this list. And there's zero swag factor. Obviously, nobody's going to be going, "Oh, what's that ball?" when you're playing a Pinnacle Rush. So there's that. Okay, the Calloway SuperSoft. Great feel. This is probably the best feeling ball that I've played that didn't have a urethane cover on it. It's really soft feeling. That's why it's called the SuperSoft. The distance is really good on it. This one actually goes a little further for me than some of the other ones, and that's including mishits. So it's good in that area as well. Of course, the brand name imparts confidence. You know what you're going to get when it comes out of that box. And it actually holds the green pretty well, even though I don't spin the ball that much on my approaches to the green. Specifically on hybrid shots, I've noticed with the SuperSofts that they hold the green better than some of the other balls that I've played. On the cons, they are more expensive. They're not super expensive, but they're more expensive than like the Pinnacle Rush or some of the other balls on this list. And there's no slice reduction, so if you cut through the ball, it will slice over. Okay, so now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Number 2, Vice Pro Air. I got this ball because I wanted to try a urethane cover, and man, does it pop off the tee. Even with my slow swing speed, the compression is really low on this ball, and that combined with that cover, man, it really feels like it's jumping off there, which is fantastic. The distance is good. And the cool factor, frankly, is good on these. Vice balls have a really good marketing campaign, and that cool factor kind of imparts a confidence in your swing, which is, maybe it's placebo effect, but placebo effect is real. So, I mean, that's good. And the other thing that's really great about these is the chipping and putting feel is super good. The putting feel especially is the best of the bunch on all of this, and it's all down to that cover. It feels really great coming off your putter and is very predictable when you are putting with it. So I highly recommend this ball if you're looking for a urethane ball. The cons are it is more expensive because of that than some of the other balls on the list, but it's still really reasonable for a urethane ball. So if you're again trying to get into those, this is probably a great one to try, especially if you have slow swing speed like I do. There is no slice reduction, so again, if you cut across it, it will slice. You gotta fix your swing, folks. What can I tell you? And then the drip paint. This is the thing I don't really like about it. They don't offer orange, which is my preferred color. And the drip paint is actually like camouflage when it gets into the rough. I've lost several of these in places that I should be able to find them, but they get covered up and it kind of camouflages the ball. So I don't really like that. And I now really only play this ball when I have like very short rough and big fairways for that reason, because the combination of being expensive and losing more of them is not a great combination. But the reason it's still number 2 is because it's such a good ball in terms of feel. It really does feel nice coming off of every club in your bag. Okay, my number 1, the Maxfli StraightFli. So I tried these just for the heck of it, and they go absolutely dead straight. Way, way straighter than any other ball that I have played. And it's not even close, like really straight. I don't think I've sliced a single one of these since I've bought it. The distance is also really good because the straighter your ball goes, the further it goes. And the orange version really glows in the rough. Like, remember what I was talking about with the Vice ball being a little camouflage? This is the opposite of that. You can see this in everything, and that's really important because I really despise losing balls and dropping shots, and this helps immensely with that. Some of the orange that you get with other brands, by the way, are not that bright. It's really weird. It's orange. You think it should be something that you'd be easy to see, but in a lot of cases, it depends on the actual hue or the actual tone of the orange that they use. And these StraightFli orange balls really stick out. The chipping and putting feel is not fantastic. It's not as great as that Vice one is, but it's good enough. It's better than the other non-urethane balls on this list, maybe tied with the Calloway. But yeah, the chipping and especially the putting is good enough on this that they don't feel clicky at all. They don't feel like plastic coming off of the putter, which again, I really despise, so that's great. And they're affordable. You can get a box of these for like $15 at Dick's Sporting Goods. So that's, I mean, a no-brainer, right? I mean, a ball that feels good, goes straight, and it's $15. I mean, come on, that's fantastic. Now the cons with the Maxfli is it's not as soft off the putter as the urethane, but again, probably this is just nitpicking because it is still really good off the putter. And then the big box origin defeats the cool factor. There is no cool factor using Maxfli. But whatever, the cool factor for me is what my score is at the end of the round. Now finally, one I didn't like, and I don't mean to slag this, but I just wanted to point it out because it is marketed for high handicappers, and for me it didn't work. I just didn't like this ball at all. I tried it. It's the Vice Tour. So this is the lowest line of balls in the Vice lineup, and the only pro for me is that the brand is cool. You know, like I said before, I think they have really great marketing, and it makes you kind of feel good about what you're playing. But the feel of these balls is all wrong for me. They're really clicky. It's very hard feeling off the face of the club. It doesn't have any slice control, and so I lose a lot of them, and it doesn't hold the green either. I think it has to do with how hard it is, and that when I'm trying to hit the green with these, there's no spin at all on them, and they just always roll right off. And for somebody like me that I don't hit a lot of greens to begin with, when it does hit, I want it to stay there. So again, your mileage may vary. Your swing is different than mine, but for me, this is one that I tried that probably I won't be going back to. Well, not probably, I won't be going back to this one. All right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know what balls you're playing in the comments. Love to hear about them. So thanks a lot.